Well, this is first and exclusive on CNN News 18. CNN News 18 has accessed ex-railway minister Lalu Prasad Yadav's reply on the Fodder scam. Now, Yadav has opposed CBI's plea seeking cancellation of suspension of sentence granted to him. Now, Lalu Prasad Yadav has said High Court's order of suspending sentence cannot be challenged solely on the ground that CBI is dissatisfied, and there is no need to interfere with High Court's order as it is based on general principles and uniform rules. Lalu Prasad Yadav has reached out to the Supreme Court. Ex-Bihar CM votes poor health and old age to say that no purpose would be served by keeping him in custody. Now, Lalu Prasad Yadav has absolutely discarded all the allegations against him and has said the suspending sentences against him cannot be challenged solely on the ground that CBI is dissatisfied and there is no need for them to interfere with the High Court's order. Now, joining me on the broadcast is my colleague and legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar. Ananya, what more details are we getting on this ground?
This detailed 45-page affidavit has now been filed by the former Railways Minister and, in fact, the former Bihar Chief Minister Lalu Prasad Yadav, clearly opposing the Central Bureau of Investigation's plea, which had, challenged the orders of the Jharkhand High Court, which had suspended the sentence of Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, or in simple terms, granted him bail in this particular case after his conviction. But what has happened is that the CBI had then moved, in fact, the Supreme Court of India, challenging that particular order of the Jharkhand High Court, and in response to that, Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav has now filed this detailed 45-page affidavit, clearly going on to say that, the order of suspending the sentence cannot be challenged solely on the ground that the Central Bureau of Investigation is dissatisfied. It has to be something that is to be shown that, there is some violation of the conditions that are there, and that's the reason why suspension of sentence can be granted. Now, another thing that Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav has actually cited in this particular case is his old age. He says that, there will be no fruitful purpose would be served by keeping him in custody because he's already so old and is already undergoing various medical treatments, and it could be fatal for him, and that's the reason why he should not be, kept in custody. In fact, and I quoted from the affidavit that the respondent is a senior citizen being over 75 years of age and suffers various age-related ailments along with comorbidities and has also undergone serious surgical medical intervention since his release. The respondent has urged had to undergo a very severe surgery on 5th of December 2022. As such, no useful purpose would be served by, keeping him into custody or by setting aside this order of, in fact, the Jharkhand High Court. Now, another big point that Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav raises is that, there is no need to interfere with the High Court order as it is based on general principles and uniform rules. The Honorable Court ought not to interfere, and I quote from the affidavit, the Honorable Court ought not to interfere with the order suspending sentence of the respondent on the basis of acceptable uniform principles and precedents. So basically what Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav is saying that, this suspension of sentence was granted to him after the court had considered various general principles and, in fact, various judgments with regards to how things actually play up. And, in fact, not only him, but various other respondents are given out such a relief after they've served half a sentence, just like he has done in this particular case. Tuina.
All right, Ananya, help us understand what will be the legal ramifications of the case, of the Fodder scam case on all the convicts of this case.
We are already into a stage when Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav is actually, convicted into this particular case. We also see that he was, sentenced, but the sentence was suspended, keeping in view his old age. And now that particular matter is before the topmost court of the country, though the appeals with regards to the same are still pending before the various courts, and we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out and whether or not the Supreme Court would actually be granting any kind of a relief to the Central Bureau of Investigation, or the orders of the Jharkhand High Court would actually continue.
All right, thank you so much, Ananya, for all those details. Well, we'll continue to track the story as the day progresses.